Doing stuff wrong twice is never the right answer. Y'all have probably heard the adage, measure twice, cut once. Here's what I've discovered a lot, and this happens so much in business, happens so much with leaders, that it kind of like aggravates me just a little bit. So many people do things wrong and in a hurry, and they think that they're killing it because they're rushing instead of asking for help. You guys, it's Dan Greer with Forge coming at you today for your 5-minute power up, and today I just want to chat a little bit about doing things right the first time without rushing through them. So as leaders, as people, one of the things that I see happening across the board more and more is the simple fact that people rush through stuff and they're too freaking scared to ask for help. And that's a problem. That's a problem, right? Why are we scared to ask for help? Why? Well, part of the reason people get scared to ask for help is because they don't want to look like an idiot. It's nothing to do with your leadership style. It has nothing to make you a bad leader at all. A lot of times people don't ask for help because they're afraid they'll look dumb. End of story, okay? Is that right? No. Is it legit? Yes. Now, I'm not going to say that sometimes people don't ask for help because you've made them feel bad. That happens all the time as well, and I want you to understand that that is possible, okay? Now, the next thing I want you to think about is this. The reason people rush through tasks is not necessarily because you've pressured them to work faster. It's because they've put pressure on themselves to work faster. As a leader, what are you doing to fight this? What are you doing to get people to truly listen to what you need them to do so they do it right the first time? Are you making them feel like it's okay to make mistakes? Are you allowing them to understand that you'd rather see it take twice as long the first time they do it and not screw it up than the opposite? Right? That's a question for you, and that's a legit question that you should be answering regularly with your people, okay? Now, the other thing I want you to think about is this, and this is what I see constantly, is that sometimes as leaders, it's not that we put too much pressure on our people, but we expect them to perform to the same standards that we perform to. Truth is, I can work 3 times as fast as most of my team because they're not as experienced as I am. Is it okay for me to just step in and do a project? Yes. Am I helping them by doing it for them instead of doing it with them? Not at all. So what are you doing as a leader to train your people? That's my question to you. This episode is so full of questions, and you should come away from this episode thinking, am I doing this? Is that legit? Is that real? Is this a real problem? Because the answer is yes, it is a problem. It is a problem. Okay? Real leaders step away from the norm. They're not afraid to think outside of the box. They're not afraid to push people and push their limits within a reason. But they also make it okay to fail. Grace as a leader is one of the biggest things that I don't want you to forget. Okay? What I see happen all the time, and leaders are guilty of this as well as the people underneath them, is we have a tendency to measure once and cut twice instead of measure twice and cut once, right? I don't know if y'all have ever built a house before, but I have. I built one. I built lots of things. And if you're trimming a piece of lumber down and you make it an 1/8 inch short, what happens? If you use that as the key, everything is now 1/4 of an inch short. And if you change keys halfway through it, now you lose another 1/8 of an inch if you don't measure correctly. Do you see what I'm saying? It's important to set standards. It's important to get your people to where they understand that you need to measure twice and cut once. You need to take the time to do what's right every time. And I want you to encourage you to quit rushing through tasks and start taking pride in what you do. Guys, I hope this helps. I'm going to get out of here. Get out there, get forged. Get a copy of my book, Grit, Grease, and Grace, Leadership Forged in the Trenches. You can get it on Amazon, you can get it on TikTok Shop, but if you want the signed copy, you got to go to gritgreasegrace.com. All right, catch you guys later.